Good day and welcome to this installment of Saints Sports. My name is Dominic Papa, and all I can say about St. Clair College athletics right now is wow. What a week last week. 3 Ontario titles claimed on one day. Saturday was just a huge day for Saints athletics. The women, no surprise in softball, a 32-0 season. They swept the Ontario Championships in London. Congratulations to Coach Doug Wiseman and the ladies, and a job well done. Also, congratulations goes out to Coach Roberto Duncan and the men's baseball team. They did it the hard way. Nobody gave them much of a chance after they lost the first meeting with Humber, but they came back and then beat Humber twice to win the gold medal and claim their second straight Ontario Baseball Championship. And, of course, the third title, one we've been waiting for a while, the Ontario Football Conference, the St. Clair Saints, formerly the Fratmen. They defeat the London Beefeaters in the OFC Championship game. We'll get into that a little bit more with Coach LaChance later on. We're also going to talk some men's soccer. Mike Barasilevsky and the team going to the Ontarios after defeating Algonquin in a real aggressive match. Coach Barasilevsky will tell us about that. We're going to also talk, like I said, to Mike LaChance, but we're also going to talk to the head coach of the Okanagan Sun. Travis Miller is going to join us on the show to tell us a little bit about his team and what we can expect. And we're going to start things off with basketball. It's back. The Saints basketball teams will be in action tomorrow, Wednesday evening. Depends on when you're watching this show. But it kicks off at the Sportsplex. The Lambton Lions will be in town to take on the Saints. Great to have the boys and girls back on the court. We're going to start things off with the men's basketball coach. Brendan Segan is back at the helm there with, of course, associate coach Matt Sykes. Good day to you, Coach Segan. Thanks for doing this. And how excited are you to get this season off and rolling?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dom. Yeah, we're really excited. First time in a couple of years now that we actually get to have a full preseason and build up to a regular season. A lot of returning guys from last year's core. So, yeah, really excited to get going tomorrow night, and it's always fun playing Lambton to start.
Let's get into the work in the offseason if we can, Coach. A good nucleus returning. I like the returning players, but one hole to fill is that of Gomez, who graduated, and obviously a very dominant player at the OCAA level. What are you thinking about the team, the lineup, the returning players, the squad you're working with for the season?
Yeah, obviously losing David is not going to be easy to replace. But at the same time, we're not trying to find somebody who is exactly like him. Like you said, we were returning a really good core of 6 or 7 guys who all played big minutes in our national championship run last year. So to have all of them back, and then we got a very good transfer from the University of Windsor and Shaq Price. We're hoping he will fill that void, if you want to call it a void, that Gomez left. But we expect big things from him. And we also added Hanani Ujulu from he's a transfer from Fanshawe, who will help us in the size department. Something we kind of lacked last year and was very evident in our in some of our games down the stretch. So we added some height there and some strength. And then, yeah, most of the guys are back. So we really like our team. We think we are just as good as last year, if not maybe a little bit better. And we know there's a lot of pressure on us after the run we had, but we're really excited to embrace it and get going.
Yeah, I don't think this year is one of those years where it's a rebuilding year, Coach Segan. Maybe a little bit of call it a reloading year. And I'm glad you mentioned the run last year, second, a silver medal in the national championship. You're just a step away. Obviously, that's the goal, but it seems like you've set up something really consistent for the college and the program, where you don't want to be just a team that gets in. You want a team that has a chance to compete for a medal at least.
Yeah, I mean, that was our goal, me and Coach Sykes, when we started, to try and get a consistent product on the court. And now, yeah, like you said, Dom, I think we're at a spot where we expect to be there at the end. and into that Final Four, and that's kind of our goal. You get to the Final Four and do a semifinal game, you set yourself up with a good chance. But there's a lot to play for this year, especially back to a normal season, 18-game regular season. The OCAA West in men's basketball is notoriously difficult to navigate. We know every single game, every single team has a chance to win. So we got to come every night ready to play. And we've been talking to the guys and trying to get our focus on October and not worry so much about March. And hopefully we can handle everything that comes our way and keep building towards the end of the season.
With the nucleus that you have returning, Coach Seguin, and the run to the national championship that you had last spring, how much do you think that can help in getting a good start and playing consistent basketball throughout the year and really give you a good shot to set yourself up in a good position come playoff time?
Yeah, just having a bunch of guys who've been through it and been through it together. It's not like some guys have been through it on a different team. These guys have all been through the very beginning. So they know there's going to be ups and downs. They don't get too high or too low, which is good. And they're ready to embrace it. Like I said, it's a tough season to get through. And you're going to need veterans who have been in situations to pick us up. I know there's going to be games where we're a little shorthanded or we're not shooting the ball well, and just having a veteran group that knows that, hey, okay, it's not going to be pretty today, but we got to find a way to win. And knowing that they've done that before makes it a lot easier to coach. And just like I said, going through that run last year, just learned so much about each other, and we're really comfortable with each other, and yeah, very excited to try and give it another go.
All right. I apologize. We've obviously had some technical difficulties with our feed. I think we've got everything back on track. Coach Seguin, if you're there still with us, I appreciate your patience. I apologize for that.
No problem.
Technical world. What can I tell you?
Yeah, that's no problem at all.
Sometimes it's temperamental. I just want to finish up quickly. I know you're getting ready for practice, but being that you're hosting the OCA championships later in March, not that it's a distraction, but certainly I know you're not going to want to just go in the back door here because you're the host team. You want to go in as maybe a number one seed, perhaps. But how exciting is that to know that you're hosting it, and how will it change maybe your approach a little bit throughout the season?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very exciting to host it. Just knowing that we're going to be playing in the biggest games of the year on our home court is something to look forward to. But it can be a little bit of a two-way street where you can get a little bit too comfortable knowing you're in, and then, like you said, not finishing as well as you possibly could, and giving yourself some difficult games to get to the final. So what we kind of told the guys is just to play the regular season like we aren't hosting, to the best of our ability, and try to go in as high as we can. And our goal is still to win the division, the West Division, in the regular season. So that's our goal. Try to win every single game, one game at a time, and get to the provincial. And hopefully we get there with a high seed and can take care of business. But yeah, very exciting knowing that that's coming up in March.
Okay, I think we're a little choppier again, but Coach Seguin, we appreciate your time here today. I'll let you get to practice, and look forward to watching your team tomorrow. Of course, we'll have the game on We Digital live for the many fans, and I'll look forward to seeing you at the court.
All right, thanks, Dom.
All right, that's Brendan Seguin, the co head coach of the Saints men's basketball team. Let's go over to the women's basketball team. This one, maybe a little bit of a different approach this year. It's life after the Kuchera twins. How's that? Coach Andy Kiss, though, is back at the helm, so that's always great news, and he's definitely one of the premier coaches in our area, maybe throughout the province for sure. He knows this game inside out. Coach Andy Kiss joins us here today. Good day to you, Coach. How are you?
Good day, Dom. I appreciate the spot on the program here, and everything's going fine.
As I mentioned, it's life after the Kuchera twins, and you know, we knew that it was going to come to an end. So immediately, I'm sure you've tried to address it with the recruiting, things like that. But certainly some big running shoes to fill in there, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to replace Jen and Logan. They were, in my opinion, generational players in our program. And, I mean, the evidence is they're playing pro ball in Montenegro in Europe. So that's a beautiful thing. You know, kids come into the OCAA and they end up going pro in Europe. And that's great to promote the league. And moreover, for us, we're going to promote our program, certainly, in that two of our players developed to that level.
Yeah, it's an amazing accomplishment, and you deserve some of the credit on that, Coach. You helped those young ladies to become the basketball players they have, which they are both great players, and certainly we're wishing them well in their pro career.
Well, I want to, if you don't mind,
sure.
It's a player's game, and you know, they had more to do with our achievements than I did. So I want to give credit to the kids and the players.
You're a humble man, Coach, and I understand what you're saying. I'm not going there, though. You got to take some of the credit. I watch you work that sideline, and I watch you work behind the scenes. So it's a team effort. Let's put it at that. And you can hit me tomorrow for saying all that if you want.
Well, we're all part of the team, right? So.
That's right. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So where do you go, Coach? Where have you gone in the off season? Some of the recruiting. What are you liking about what's happened in the offseason with the team?
Well, we really worked hard in the offseason recruiting. In fact, there's a few players one player is going to be playing for Lambton on Wednesday night. Another player we thought we had wrapped up ended up going to Niagara College. But you know what? I want to focus on the kids that came to St. Clair, and we love them. You know, Alyssa Lucier transferred. She was going to Western. She's a former youth sport player with the University of Manitoba. She wants to rekindle her career. She's just a great two-way player. I mean, if I could use the hockey analogy, Alyssa plays all out at both ends of the floor, and that's such a dream for a coach. Lauren Overeem is another fine from Brantford St. John's, another old school, old-fashioned style player. Just play, you know, these kids leave it out there. Janae Smith is a nice skilled transfer, another guard from St. Clair County Community College from the Michigan JUCO ranks. Myra Brown Henderson, Adriana Dubois, Skyla Glover, all come from the Kennedy program in Windsor and have all had their shining moments so far this year in exhibition play. Adriana's been a pleasant surprise, actually. Haley Pizzali is a recruit from Timmins, and Sarah Stanton comes from the London area, played for London Gold Medal and London Laurier High School. So we've got 8 new faces on the team. The holdovers are Grace Smirk, and Shaylin Murphy, who just came over from that phenomenally successful women's fast pitch team at the college that won everything you could win. I think they went under
32-0, Coach.
32-0. How can you beat that? So Shay's back in the fold now, and we're happy that she's back full throttle with our women's ball program. And it's a 10-woman team. Can't replace Gutierrez, but we've been working. When you coach, you want to emphasize the strengths that you have with the players you have. So our style might be a little bit different this year. I think we're really going to be strong defensively. Like I said, this is a group of kids that have been establishing their identity. We've talked to them about the team culture, the winning culture that we've built at St. Clair, and the very fact that we want to keep this tradition alive. And these kids are full marks for this, and they're looking forward to the season, the regular season that is, and maintaining the success that the program has had.
Could this be, and I got to be careful how I ask this, Coach, but with the Kuchera girls moving on, is that kind of a blessing? Does it gives you an opportunity maybe to do things a little bit differently, perhaps? And not that having the Kuchera things was a difficult thing. That was a great thing, but it maybe gives you a chance to maybe put a different stamp on the team. Fair to say that?
Yeah, well, they actually have a year left, Dom,
Yeah.
but certainly had they decided to come back for their 5th year, we would have, with wide open arms, welcomed them.
Sure.
A lot of people don't know this, but they're greater character women than the phenomenal exploits they've established on the basketball floor. So, but they did move on, and we definitely supported that. I mean, why would I talk them into trying to come back for 5th year? You can go play pro ball. That's a dream so many kids have.
Yeah.
Go move on. And so as far as the new team goes, it will be different. So, for example, offensively, Jen and Logan and that's partly the system that we had. They kind of, the system ran or was built around their skill sets. And so they ended up at times, they would carry the team. They would be the 2 kids having, the most points per game and the most shots in the game. So now it's different. So now we have a little bit more of an equal ground, equal footing. But still, as a coach, it's my job to get the ball in the hands of the top players on the team. And this team has players I consider higher end players, perhaps offensively than others. That's life. That's what it's like in a team sport. And so it's my job to make sure that those kids have the ball in their hands to make our team. This is all about the team. So I need to take the parts given. We as a coaching staff are going to make it work. And our goal is to, as I said earlier, our goal is to get to the podium in the province. It's not going to be easy, being that we now have a different type of team, but certainly that's our goal.
How much time do you think it'll take, Coach? Good thing is we're back to a full schedule, which is great. Gives you that much more time to develop and just really pinpoint where you want to go with this team. But how much time do you think you'll need to kind of put a stamp on this team as to what they're going to be and get them to going in the direction that you need them to be successful?
Yeah, that's a good question. And your other point about having a full season is such a valid point. Like, consider that if we had 8 brand new players and it was last year when the season kind of was, a little bit sketchy, and then it ended up being half of a year, that would be very difficult. So now that we have a full season, I can't really put a timeline on it, but certainly at some point, first semester, we really need to have a definite awareness of who we are, our style of play, role awareness on the team. Certainly that can't take too long because, tomorrow night it's full throttle, right? It's a league game against a strong opponent that has a number of strong players back, well-coached team, good program. And so we need to be ready to go. So, sooner certainly is better than later, but I can't really put an exact time on it other than the very fact that it is a work in progress. And I would think at some point this semester, it's really going to manifest and gel, and, who we are will be clearly apparent when we play. Roles will be apparent. Kids will embrace them. and we'll be full throttle moving forward.
I know you're going to have them ready, Coach, no matter what. I'm going to say it again. You do a great job. So the team's in good hands with you and your staff, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see this team back in action. Certainly, We Digital is a very proud partner in broadcasting the games, and I'll look forward to seeing you at the court all season long. It's always great to talk to Coach K, that's for sure. So
thank you, Don. Much appreciated.
All right, that's Coach Andy Kiss. And again, tomorrow, a couple of basketball games, 6 and 8 p.m. at the Sportsplex. So get out, support the Saints, and watch some really good college basketball. Now, if you made it out to the stadium, the Acumen Stadium on the weekend on Sunday, well, Saturday, of course, we had a great football game. We'll get into that in just a few moments, but there was also a great soccer game on Sunday, a playoff match between Algonquin and our St. Clair Saints, and very happy to report that the men were victorious. It was a real chippy affair, folks. If you didn't catch this game on We Digital or at the stadium, I'm going to let Coach Mike Barasilewski tell you all about it. He joins us on the show. Thanks for doing this, Coach Mike. And I got to see the second half of the game. I made it in time to see the second half, and I was impressed. I was excited. I was really intense because it was an intense game. This was almost like old school stuff, maybe even a little bit of a hockey, old school hockey game. The tempers were definitely being lit. Have you ever been part of something like that, Coach?
Oh, I used to watch the games at Weigel Park when I was a kid, probably exactly. With you.
Yep.
Some of those games were going on back in a long time ago. Let's put it this way. We've had some heated games this year. I recall the early on in the season when we played Humber. That was a hotly contested match as well. So I guess we get up to a level that perhaps crosses the line at times when we play these really important and tough teams. It was a challenge trying to keep everybody's head in the game and making sure that they didn't get cross the line and get out of off the park after the referee throws them out, of course.
Yeah, it was a lot of yellow cards. Before we get into that part of it, Coach, why do you think, Algonquin, they're in the other conference, of course, or the other division, I should say, and you see them maybe once, and there's this I don't want to call it hatred, but certainly there's this.
I don't know if that was really hatred. It was just an important game for both teams. Algonquin maybe a little bit put off by the events that led them to have to travel down here. So they were a bit nervous about that. Our guys were obviously pumped up playing in front of a good crowd at home, and wanted to make sure that they're up for the game and up to the task. And certainly when you've got two forces like that and some hard-headed young men, then push comes to shove, and away we go.
One thing that was really a pleasure to see, Coach B, because you did such a great job during the season, just steering this ship with a lot of adversity, a lot of injury to deal with, but you had some of those guys back in the lineup, and I think perhaps they contributed to this victory.
Oh, for sure. It was fantastic that we could get a number of those guys back on the field. I wouldn't say at 100%, but certainly the effort was more than you can ask for. Massimo, one of our captains, he came back almost missing the whole season. I think he got injured in the second game. And in the last 5 weeks, he's been on crutches. He's been just walking in a cast, and then just in time last week started to train, had 3 or 4 training sessions and on the field, and what an effort he gave. He was one of our better players offensively and defensively. So great leadership by him, true captain that way. A few other guys that were dealing with concussions and pulled hammies and abdominal strains and the whole bit. And somehow, some way, they found their way on the pitch. As I said, maybe not 100%, but certainly their presence meant a lot for the team effort, and hoping to to make to get those guys back on the field tomorrow and kind of maybe a little better shape now that we've had a couple games, a couple days to rest. But we'll see. It remains to be seen how much the game on Sunday took out of them as well.
Yeah, again, it was a very physical game, and a lot of energy spent. No question about it. What do you think, Coach, was the difference in the game? It was a tight game. I mean, this one was up for grabs right to the last whistle.
Well, I think we're really good defensively, Tom. I think we talked about keeping the shape on the field and making sure we don't leave ourselves open in certain areas, leaving gaps open. For people watching, sometimes they and I watched the game certainly right after on video, and it appears at times that maybe we're not in position, but it was the plan was just keeping them in front of you, keep him in front of you defensively, and we did a pretty good job of that. And certainly we had a great effort from the back four on defense. I thought Ilya Pavicic, actually, we chose him as our player of the game, the coach's player of the game, because he was really strong in the back, won a lot of head balls, blocked a few shots, was almost perfect in the outlet passing. So all the areas of his game were solid, and so were the other guys. And really, we had guys coming off the bench and helping us out. So it was definitely a team effort with some outstanding individual effort as well.
You mentioned it earlier, Coach. There was a lot at stake, and obviously there was. It was either you win or you're done, and now you're off to the Ontarios. That's the reward here.
Yeah.
A great deal at stake here.
Yeah.
So you're off to the Ontarios. Congratulations on that. A good accomplishment. And knowing this league so very well, and knowing this level of soccer so very well, the Ontarios is just going to get that much more difficult.
Well, certainly our goal was to get to the playoffs at the beginning of the year. And of course, when you get there, then you want more. And so, we've gotten back to the provincial championships, although this year it's the final 8. We're there. Game on Sunday was a tough game, and, probably will be a tougher one tomorrow. We're matching up against arguably the top 1 or 2 teams in the province in Seneca College, and outstanding season, outstanding players, outstanding coaches, and we've got our work cut out. Again, if we can stay on note and play our game as we want it to be played, we'll have a chance to pull out an upset, I would say.
Yeah, how do you approach this tournament, Coach? You have to be realistic. The top teams are there, maybe the best team in Canada there, arguably that. What do you say to the guys? How do you prepare them for something like this?
Well, a barometer for these competitions is how we played earlier against the top team in Canada. I'm assuming you're talking about Humber College.
Yeah.
We played them twice. Unfortunately, we lost both games, but certainly the guys know that we are there with them. The first game here was a very hotly, as I said, tough game, very highly contested game. Really, they got away from us late in the game as we were chasing the score. Second game, we played exactly how we wanted to, got an equalizer late in the game. And, there was maybe a little more extra time than we would have liked. And unfortunately, they scored literally in the last kick of the game in the 97th minute to take the win. So I think the guys know we can play. So psychologically, we've passed that barrier. It's just a matter of physically how we can come through physically. Again, we're still dealing with some tender muscles and so on, but again, it's one game. Put the effort and on to the next one. So.
All right, Coach. Good luck with that. Appreciate your time here. We'll check back with you next week here on the show, and congrats on everything up to this point.
Thank you. Thanks,
All right,
Tom.
that's Mike Bereslev, give the men's soccer team off to the Ontario Championship. Now the game that everyone is talking about. The buzz is huge around town. This has been a long time coming. Of course, last year the Saints coming up short in the OFC Championship. They got over that hurdle on Saturday, but boy, oh boy, it's not going to be easy this week. They play an outstanding football club in the Okanagan Sun. We're very pleased and excited to be joined on the Saints Sports Show here with the head coach, the bench boss of the Sun. That is Coach Travis Miller. Good day to you, Coach Miller. Appreciate the time here, and I hope everything is well out west, and looking forward to seeing you guys here in Windsor. Talk to me about coming to play against the St. Clair College Saints here.
Yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity for our program to go across the country. I mean, any of these interconference play games that we have is a pretty unique opportunity, I think, for anybody. So, as a group, we're excited. We're very interested to see the facilities. It sounds like you guys have a wonderful stadium, and very excited overall.
Speaking of wonderful, your team is wonderful, Coach. 10-0 this year. You've dominated the British Columbia Conference, 448 points for. You've only surrendered 135 points. You're the Cullen Cup champs. Just how good is your team, Coach?
You know what? I think we probably stack up pretty well against St. Clair. You guys are undefeated as well too, and obviously have the backing of the college for your program. So I think from our perspective, we're excited about the game and the opportunity, like I said, to play an interconference game with you guys and come out there and kind of see where the chips lay at the end of the game.
How tough is it, Coach? Let's face it. You mentioned you're traveling across the country, and it's a maybe even a different brand of football being played in BC compared to what's happening here in Ontario. Is it a little bit of a different preparation for your team because of that?
You know what? We're just taking it the same way we have every week. It's kind of the same thing that's got us to week 14 at this point from our perspective. So nothing changes. It's from our perspective, it's just the same preparation week in and week out that has got us to the point that we are, and that'll take us to where we want to go. So no change from us other than the fact that we'll be in a couple different cities each different day and work our way through kind of the logistics of that and make sure our guys are fed and sleeping well and otherwise, status quo for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how tough is it, Coach, being that now you're going to see somebody different to keep the guys focused? I'm sure the team, you have your leaders on this team that will certainly keep everybody in check. But is it a little bit of a different preparation that way, just even from a mental focus?
You know what? Well, two things I guess we're very fortunate to have is the veteran-laden team. We have a number of 22-year-olds who are on our team. Who have been around the block a few times, and nicely, in that group is a number of guys from Ontario actually. So they understand the level of football that's being played out east, and the requirements that we need to hit in order to put ourselves in a competitive game against St. Clair. And from that standpoint, they lead themselves and put us in the best situation going forward.
I know you can't divulge a lot here, Coach, but I'm sure you've seen video of the St. Clair team. What are your thoughts of the club, and what are you going to key on? If you can give us a little insight there.
You know what?
I know you can't go into detail.
Yeah, I don't think it's any secret. You guys have a very good team, and that offensive line is something to behold. I don't know that I've seen an offensive line that big outside of university in a number of years. So. From our perspective, I mean, we're looking at an undefeated team, number 3 or number 2 in the country. From our perspective, we're treating them like they're number 1 in the country, and make sure that we, give everybody their just dues. I apologize. There's a garbage truck directly in front of me, of course, right in this exact moment. So it's a little bit loud. My apologies.
Coach, we had technical problems earlier, so it's just one of those things. It's technology.
It's par for the course. Par for the course. Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
No, you know what? From our perspective, Dom, at the end of the day, we're just very excited to have this game. I can't reiterate that enough. Having the opportunity, like I said, to move across the country and the inter squad game or interconference play, it only happens twice a year really in this game in the national championship. So when we get an opportunity to showcase our brand of football and play against the in this case the OFC, obviously we want to put our best foot forward and make sure that St. Clair is doing the same thing and give the fans a game that they'll remember.
Obviously, the Okanagan Sun tradition is a winning tradition. 15 British Columbia Conference championships, of course, 2 national titles, 25 winning seasons. Since the existence of the club in 1981 was the year it started, I believe. Winning seems to be a way. How has that been established, Coach? And you coming into the fold as the coach, you have to carry on this tradition. No pressure there, right, Coach?
You know what? I'm an alumni of the program, and I've been
Right.
around the Okanagan Sun for the better part of 20 years. And in those 20 years, we have 2 conference championships, and that's 2015 and 2022. So we've been really good in the regular season, but outside of that, we haven't had a lot of success. So from our perspective, we look at our year 2022 as a year that we want to make sure that we break that trend and push forward. So the Okanagan Sun is led by a great group of board of directors. From when I was a player here, through a coach from afar, and then obviously being part of the coaching staff the last few years. The board of directors has set the level of play for us as coaches and of the team, which has directly led to the success that we've seen. They support us financially. They support us on and off the field to ensure that we have the best facilities, the best uniforms, the best equipment. And then, obviously Kelowna is a wonderful place to live. It's a beautiful part of the Okanagan Valley in BC. So it's not hard to convince players from across the country to come to such a beautiful place. And then you tie in the success, like you said, that we've had. We want to make sure that we bring the best players, best quality coaches all the way from across the country to this place. And that's really been the backbone to our success, is our support structure that we have built over the last 41 years.
Yeah, Kelowna is an outstanding. Well, it's a beautiful city to start with, but you look at the Kelowna Rockets. Their hockey program in the WHL certainly has had a lot of great years of success and put some pretty good hockey players into the NHL. And it seems like this football program is doing the same as far as success goes. What makes it special? Is there good competition between you and the Rockets at all?
You know what? We have a very good, I guess, competition between the two in terms of getting a number of people out to. Jeez, everybody's around today. Getting people out to our games and getting people around, so it works really well. And obviously, we build off each other. Different seasons, obviously not at the same time, so it kind of works well that we have guys in different areas and different time zones.
Coach, I really appreciate the time, and we're excited about this. It's going to be great to see you here in our city. We wish you certainly a safe journey here, and hope you enjoy our city, but not too much, okay? If you know what I mean,
Yeah,
but certainly we're looking for a great game, that's for sure. And congratulations on everything up to this point. Obviously, an outstanding year for your team.
Yeah, thank you so much. Congratulations to you guys as well, too. I think it's a pretty unique opportunity to have 2 undefeated teams square off in this game. It'll be very exciting.
All right, that's Coach Travis Miller of the Okanagan Sun. Obviously, as I said, folks, this team is pretty dynamic. They are perfect, just like the Saints are. 10-0 during the regular season. They've won both of their playoff games. They won the Cullen Cup for their conference. They just get it done, folks. And the Saints, they're going to be tested. Now, the bad news here is I'm having trouble, or Coach LaChance is having trouble logging on with us. We'd love to hear from him. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just take a break here, and we're going to see if we can get Coach LaChance checked in, and we'll get this interview done for you, because I really do want to hear his thoughts about everything that's going on, and hopefully we'll get that. If not, we'll have to try again maybe tomorrow or something, but right now we're just trying to get Coach LaChance set up technically here on the Saints Sports Show. So just give us a couple of minutes, okay, folks? Folks, we apologize again. Some technical difficulties. We had Coach LaChance scheduled for the show. Obviously, unfortunately, we're just not able to connect. It's the world of technology, I guess. So what we're going to do is we're going to end today's show. What we will do is we're going to bring Coach LaChance on tomorrow. We're going to ask him to join us tomorrow, hopefully around noon or so, and we'll do a full interview with him talking about the game with Okanagan and just everything that's happening with the Saints football team right now. So we do apologize, and hopefully you can join us again tomorrow. But that's going to be it for this edition of Saints Sports. Another great week of sports coming up, and we'll hopefully talk about a few more championships. That would be a really nice thing. But until next time, this is Dominic Papa wishing you a great day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all again very soon.